There are growing global concerns over North Korea's nuclear capabilities. U.S. intelligence officials tell CBS News that North Korea could have a working intercontinental ballistic missile by next year. The ICBM could be capable of carrying a nuclear warhead. North Korea claims it would be able to reach the United States. Chang joins me now on set. He is the author of Nuclear Showdown. North Korea takes on the world. And Gordon, an apt title, especially for today, when we've learned that they are on an accelerated time frame to get to an ICBM. How do we know that?
Well, the July 4th test, which went up 1,700 miles into the altitude, came down, and it was successful in terms of protecting the warhead. Once you fire that on a flatter trajectory, it's about, 4,100, 4,200 miles. That means it reaches good part of Alaska, and it also approaches the main islands of Hawaii. We also suspect that they cut short the burn on the second stage, which means it could have even gone farther. So right now, they're pretty close to being able to hold us to ransom. And that's why these estimates of 3 to 4 years have now come down to a year, 18 months.
How concerning is that acceleration?
Well, it's a concern because they're making very fast progress, much faster than anybody in the intelligence community thought. And indeed, the North Koreans have shown a single-minded determination to do this. The issue we're going to have to face in about a year is whether we think we can deter North Korea. And right now, the regime looks pretty unstable. And that means, we might start thinking about the use of force to disarm the North Koreans. That would be horrific in terms of the outcome. So really, going forward, there are very few good options, maybe no good options right now.
What we keep hearing about is the importance of China and the U.S. leveraging China to do more to stop funding the program with its business that it does with North Korea. How much leverage does the U.S. have with China, and how much time does it have? Does the U.S. need to really, at this point, start doing more? And I know there has been talk about more sanctions of Chinese banks. When does that happen? It sounds like a pretty urgent time.
Well, it is urgent time because we know the North Koreans, within months, maybe a year, will be able to hit the American homeland with a nuke. The Chinese have a lot of leverage over the North Koreans. They've also been supplying ballistic missile technology and equipment from all that we can tell. But the U.S. has enormous leverage over China right now because, we don't have an economy geared to selling things to China, but China has an economy geared to selling things to us. We're the trade deficit country, which means we don't really care too much about a trade war. And our economy, in reality, is twice the size of theirs. So we hold most of the high cards. It's just that we have not been willing to exercise political will to force the Chinese. I think what we need to do is tell the Chinese, look, you can support the North Koreans, you can do business with the United States, but you can't do both. If we do that, I think we can move China to a much better place.
Just to be clear and not to sort of alarm everybody at home, the North Koreans' end game is not to hit Hawaii or Alaska with a nuclear warhead, right? I mean, that would be suicide. What is their end game?
That's a great question. There's two things. First of all, Kim Jong-un wants to preserve Kim family rule, but also at the basis of Kim family legitimacy is the desire and the goal of absorbing South Korea. So the thing that I'm concerned about is not that they're going to launch on Seattle once they get the capability to do so, but what they will do is they will threaten to use their nukes in order to break the alliance that we have with South Korea, because once that alliance is broken, North Korea can intimidate the South. So you get into scenarios where they can escalate very, very quickly, and of course the United States can't allow that to happen. So really, that's why we're concerned about the North Koreans.
Their end game is to unify the Koreas, and that would completely destabilize East Asia. Chang, thank you so much.
Thank you.